But one of the most interesting stories to come out of this whole alien thing and why they're saying it might be humans from the future is binary code. You know, if you wanted to talk to someone or communicate with aliens or another species, how would you do it? And probably, you know, because you have to translate languages or do a
Yeah.
bunch of other stuff. But what is common within all these things, which is binary code, zeros and ones, you know, or even like, you know, dot, dot,
You
dot,
know,
that
they,
type of
they
stuff.
say that whales communicate way better than any species on the planet with their like, ooh.
Woo!
And they say that there's a chance if aliens come, they might communicate with whales because that's easier to communicate with the way they communicate than humans are. What
Very
if
interesting.
they're like, nah, you guys are dumb, and then
Yeah, we're
they
gonna talk to the whales.
and the whales are like, what up, guys? Hey,
Oh, that'd
because
be
like
horrible.
the ocean could look at the ocean and think that's outer space, dude. Talk
Yeah.
about aliens already live in the ocean. Like
Mm-hmm.
they already there's no way that there's not aliens out there because there's already aliens here. If you
I
just look
agree.
at an stoned, you're like, this is an alien. You look at it, you look at it. Oh, there's a lot of cranes and like crazy birds in Florida. You look at a bird and you're like, that's a dinosaur. Like that's
Yeah.
like, like that's what it was. It's just a really small, innocent little version of a dinosaur. But I don't know where I'm going. You brought up all these cool things, so now I'm like,
No, dude, this is
but there,
perfect. Yeah.
there are aliens in the ocean, so there's definitely aliens out there. But who's to say these aliens out there aren't communicating with whales instead of us? They probably think we're just dummies because we keep killing each other and throwing bombs at each other. You know,
That's the sad part is that like if they are communicating with whales and they're like, so what are humans like? Whales are like, well, man, they pollute our waters. I can't breathe. Like literally,
those
look at our ocean.
Earth sucks.
That sucks, man. Just go away.
If they communicated with me, I'd be like, "You guys made the right move, getting out of here."
Okay. Before I get on to the Jim Pedison thing with the binary code, do you think
Ooh, they could
aliens listen to
for
music?
that. Fuck yeah,
What kind of music?
death metal.
See, I always thought that if you can see from my background, I definitely like more of the metal and the rock bands and stuff like that as well. But I get the I have nightmares. I wake up from nightmares that aliens listen to EDM, and I'm like, oh god, of course they listen to EDM.
Have you ever heard of the band Psyopus?
Yes.
Bro, that's what aliens listen to. Like heavy, crazy, chaotic, like death metal. Like that's what they listen to. So you got EDM. We got to ask someone else. Like
Yeah, I haven't
I'm
gotten a chance to ask Van Aaliyah yet and Ted. I had Ted from Pacifier on, and he said EDM. He said
he
EDM
said
too, but
EDM.
that's an easy one to say because you think it's electronic and we think futuristic. But they could listen to folk music. They could love the some Arlo Guthrie and stuff like that, and they're just back there chilling, talking about coming to the States with drugs.
Oh my god, if they're just listening to like weird operatic tonal music, just like.
But I love a good rock opera or like a good. I've
Rock
always
opera.
loved like heavier tones in the music, but not necessarily a heavy song. Good melodies and stuff. I just love that type of stuff, but my range is very limited. So Jim Pattison, this is one of my favorite alien stories because it's one of the most credible ones, one of the most believable ones, not one of those crazy hat ones. And this guy was a US Navy pilot, I think, or at least was in the Navy at the time. And him and a couple of his crew members went I guess something crashed and they thought it was whatever. So they went up to see it and they found, a UFO or UAP. And it was, all the things you always hear, like no motor, no sound, all that stuff. He goes up, but he noticed there's some symbols on it. So he goes up and he touches it. And after he touches it, he sees like binary code in his mind, like just starts flashing. And then he doesn't think anything, it kind of goes away and he doesn't think anything more of it. But then it keeps happening. It keeps happening and happening. And it's like distracting him from what he's doing in real life. So one day, just in one of his diaries, shortly after, maybe like a week after, he just writes down everything he sees in his head. He writes down in a little journal, right? I guess after the journal was done, he puts it away and he doesn't touch it for like 20 or 30 years, something like that. And I guess they were getting ready to move or do something. And so he brought out all the old stuff. And one of his friends was like, "Hey, what's this?" He's like, "Oh, it's just an old diary, from back in the day." And the guy picks up, he starts, he's like, "What's this?" And he sees all the binary code. So here's the crazy part. They had the binary code translated, and this is what it said. And this is the creepy part. And this guy's very credible. Again, he worked in the Navy. He doesn't do interviews. There's only maybe 2 interviews with him in the last 30 years because to him, he doesn't want people thinking he's crazy, but he knows what he's saying is true. He doesn't want to be in the limelight. He doesn't want to make money off of it. He's very reclusive. He just likes to spend time with his family. So the first set said exploration of humanity. The second part said continuous for planetary advance. Eyes of your eyes. Origin year 8100. So there's like so many different parts to just those 4 phrases that you could take from, right? Like saying that like our origin years as humans, or maybe when aliens started to switch our DNA or whatever, like the real conscious human started in 8100. So that's what I get from it.
That's
Eyes,
the 8100.
yeah, 8100. So I guess that would be, was Christ born at like 0? So when they say 1200 BC, so this was even further back than 1200 BC, which is like, yeah, yeah. I think once you get past Jesus, it's like the lower it goes, the farther away. And then once you get past Jesus towards us, the higher up it goes is, the farther away. It's like the opposite. So eyes of your eyes, which to me goes back to the whole, maybe this is humans, like eyes of your eyes, or we're created within an alien image, you know, continuous for planetary advance. So that makes me feel like maybe aliens or another human species came to Earth and started mixing DNA in order to continue their species because something similar happened to them on their planet.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, dude,
I think,
it's
so you're saying, all right, you believe the eye of eyes like that, so it relates to a human. What was, so you're saying that they screwed this up on a different planet, came to Earth to give us their DNA.
mm-hmm.
Now, those Earth people have alien DNA, and they're waiting for us to figure something out.
No, we are the aliens. We are the people. Like in 8100,
We,
that's when they mixed their DNA with our DNA. And then over time, evolution has caused us to be more conscious minded thinking people. But also because we have free will, it also causes us not to use everything that we were given.
ooh.
You know, I, dude, I wish we had more time to prep because I just watched this thing on Prime and it was blowing my mind. I'm gonna send it to you later. I'll send you the title of it, but you got to go watch it. It's crazy. But not only did they have this on there, they also, the binary code spelled out locations, longitude and latitude, and they went to the Temple of Apollo exactly.
Oh,
It went
these friggin'
to, huh?
those weird. Is it those weird spheres? I gotta make this thing larger. Oh yeah, okay, I see what
The
you're saying
Temple
now.
of
Okay.
Apollo. Yeah. So
Yeah.
the binary code, it pointed to Temple of Apollo, pyramids of Giza, obviously, the Nazca lines, which everyone knows, and like Sedona, Arizona, for some reason, like that's very like important
Huh.
to it. And then obviously, like I forget what this called, but the ones with all the stones, the
Stonehenge.
Stonehenge, yeah, the one with all the stones. What was that called?
Stonehenge.
So dude, that's like pretty much like what it's saying, and I just think that whole story is just crazy to me